Hello, welcome to another Pages and Pals, a live show. If you are new to our live shows, this is just a get together with pals and we read together. Uh, we normally have more people on the live show, but it looks like some people are celebrating things that I just found out a few minutes ago. So it's just the three of us tonight. I'll let everybody introduce themselves and let us know what you're reading. I'll start first. I'm currently reading This Vicious Grace, and this is just without the dust jacket, and it's by Emily. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but this was a fairy loot edition. It's really interesting. I really like this book. It's a fantasy world set in a world where there are these special people and they can't touch until they find their soulmate or something, and then they gain superpowers. It's really cool. I really enjoy it. I should be done with this book tonight, so I'm very excited to see how it ends. But Chloe, since you're right next to me, why don't you go next?
Hello, everyone. My name is Chloe. I run the YouTube channel Brunette Bibliophile, and you can find me under that handle on most things. Tonight, I'm going to be starting a book that I have been meaning to start for weeks, and that is Places We've Never Been by Casey West. This is her new 2022 release. Casey West is one of those authors that just writes like fluffy romance, and I always pick up her books. So this is a new one I'm looking forward to, and I have high hopes because I really enjoyed her release last year, which was Sunkissed. I flew through that one, so I have high hopes for this one.
Hello, my name is Desirai. You can find me at LibriLabra on all the things like YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. But I am currently reading Olga Dies Dreaming by Xochitl Gonzalez. And this takes place in Brooklyn, and it kind of addresses the themes of gentrification and also colonialism. But it's a family story. It's a lot more complex than that. It's kind of hard to summarize, but so far I've been absolutely loving it. It's already made me cry once, and it's making me miss home a lot.
All right. So, again, for those of you joining us, we do this live show on a monthly basis where we just grab our books and we read together. We normally do 2 reading sprints during this live show. We start off with a 25-minute reading sprint, then we end with a 20-minute one. So, I'll go ahead and put on the screen the timer, the countdown timer, so you guys know how much time there's left to a reading session. And I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay. So that was 25 minutes, which I feel like it went by slower this time. Always feel like these 25 minutes go by really, really fast. So I managed to read about 20 pages. I am listening to the audiobook as well. As you guys know, I like to listen to the audiobooks most of the time when I'm reading the physical book because I'm very distracted. Like I get distracted very easily. So listening to the audiobook tends to help me focus better. For those of you joining us, I am reading Vicious Grace, and this was a Fair Loot book that I received, I think 2 months ago. I don't quite remember. And it's set in this fantasy world where we have this girl who can't touch others, and she has to find her soulmate in order to get these special powers in order to stop this darkness that's coming. It's actually really, really cool. I'm really enjoying this book. I never heard of this author, never heard of this book, so it's been quite a surprising reading experience. I'm really enjoying it. Chloe, how is your book going?
So I am reading Places We've Never Been by Casey West. I read 20 pages. I'm at the top of chapter 3. It is an RV road trip novel following two friends who one of them moved away a couple of years prior and they haven't seen each other since. So this is like them reuniting on this like big like 2-family road trip. It reads pretty quickly so far, but I'm not like super invested yet since I'm not very far.
Okay.
I'm not sure how far I got, but like this book has like 3 different perspectives, and there's just a lot about identity and what it means to kind of be an immigrant in America, and like people just trying to kind of assimilate and be American. But then there's another perspective that's talking about, I don't know what word to use exactly, but kind of how that's disrespectful and you're kind of ignoring your culture. And there's just a lot of stuff in here that's super interesting. And I'm really enjoying it.
What's the name of the book again?
Olga Dies Dreaming.
Okay. And this is a off topic, but what does your shirt say?
Oh, my shirt says, "Not today."
I was trying to read. I was like, okay. I like that. Okay, so for those of you joining us, welcome to Pages and Pals. We are monthly live show where we just read together. We are going to go into our second and final reading sprint round. This is 20 minutes. And as with the first round, I'll go ahead and share the screen so that you guys can see the countdown timer. And we'll go ahead and get started now. Okay. So that was our last 20 minutes. I think I did pretty well in reading. The book is getting really, really interesting. Just as I said, I am reading This Vicious Grace, set in fantasy world. This lady has to find her soulmate in order to fight this evil that's coming, and it's not always so easy, I guess, in this world to find your soulmate, whatever. So it's getting to a really, really interesting part. But how is your book going, Chloe?
I read about 30 pages that time around. I'm at the top of chapter 5. So far, so good. Again, not too many strong feelings, being still pretty early in it, but still very fast-paced.
Desiree, how about you?
So I'm kind of like in the middle of this book, and I need to finish it tonight because I'm discussing it tomorrow. So, but it's really good and super fascinating. And like one of the things I love about it the most is that it takes place in Brooklyn, and she's describing just a lot of the landmarks and stores and the neighborhoods and stuff. But you can tell that she lives there. Like you can tell she's a native of Brooklyn, and it makes me feel like I'm there again. And it's starting, like things are starting to ramp up, and I don't know, I have a feeling it's going to make me cry again, so we'll see.
So Don said that went fast. Yes, I feel like the 20 minutes went by super fast. The 25 minutes, I felt like I kept looking up and there was still so much time to go. So that made me happy. So you said you stuck with the cozy mystery after remembering I have so many library books, and I'm sure Chloe is the same way. I have so many library books, and then sometimes I have to return them because I always leave them for the last minute. I keep seeing the timer, like the days go down, and it gives me anxiety seeing those days go down.
And now Libby's like telling you, like, there's this many people waiting. And like the other day, I have returned the same book like 3 or 4 times, and it said, you've returned this book and taken it out again 5 times, and you've only listened to 1 hour and 30 minutes. And I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, I feel like the library like gaslights you about it.
Working at a library has its advantages and its disadvantages.
Yeah, like the more popular books, like I don't get to in time, so I just return it in the hopes that I'll get in the queue faster so that I can get the book again. But hold on. Do any of you read on a Kindle? I don't. I used to have a Kindle. I don't read on the Kindle. I have the Kindle app, and sometimes I will use, like, I don't have Kindle Unlimited, but you do have Prime Reading, so I do sometimes get like the books on Prime. But then again, I don't have a Kindle. I can have the Kindle app only.
Yeah, I read on the Kindle app on my phone or my iPad.
Yeah.
I used to read on the Kindle app, but I wasn't using it as much. I mostly just use like Libby and Hoopla on my iPad.
Yeah. I know that when you download from the library, it always gives me an option. Do you want to read on the Libby app or do you want to read on the Kindle? I just choose the Libby app just because I'm just lazy to have it to move it to the Kindle. Anyways,
it's so much easier too to just do it on Libby.
Yeah, but isn't it that hack that if your rental's about to be due, that you turn off your Wi-Fi, but you have to do it on the Kindle. Like you can't do it on the Libby. It has to be on you have to have it moved on the Kindle, and then you turn off your Wi-Fi, you turn off your data,
I've
whatever.
never tried doing that, but that sounds like it would probably work if it was in the Kindle app.
Yeah, I haven't heard this yet, or I've heard it, but I haven't tried it yet. The thing that I saw was if you do it on Kindle, you shut off your Wi-Fi, but if you do it on like iPad, you put it on airplane mode.
Okay, yeah. If you do, I saw the first 3 books in the Small Spaces Quartet. What genre is that?
I think it's like horror.
Is it?
Isn't it?
The closest things I ever read to horror.
Do you remember
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Or like what?
No, I was going to say the closest thing that I've ever read to horror was the R.L. Stine books. I'd never even read Stephen King. So, yeah. But
When we were at Books A Million, I picked up the second book in that quartet.
you read
and
the first book?
No, I didn't. That's why I put it back.
That's right. You said. Oh, that's right. You said it.
But I really want to read it.
Okay. I mean, Dawn is talking about it so good. I'd be interested to check it out. But anyway, so moving on, our next Pages and Pals live show will be in September. It's going to be on September 10th. Again, it's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern time on my channel. So go ahead and mark your calendars. Sorry, one second. So Don said, yes, if you put your Kindle on airplane, the book won't go away to the library until you turn it back on. I do it all the time. So wait, hold on. If that happens, like the book is still on your Kindle, does that mean the next person doesn't get it? So you're just like holding a book hostage until you...
That's the thing with the Kindle that confuses me. Like, I'm supposed to know this because I work for the system, but it confuses me because it goes through Amazon. So that's why I like dread when like Kindle people need help with Kindles, because I don't understand it enough. I'm like, guys, just use Libby. It's so much easier.
So Don said it's a middle grade. Like, okay, so he said it's definitely more like R.L. Stine and Stephen King. So that's definitely something I would check it out, just because I love R.L. Stine. I loved his book. I think I read most of his books. I know he's released a lot more since the time I was reading him religiously, but yeah. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Our next Pages and Pals live show is again September 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure to mark it on your calendars. Super excited for September because it's our birthday month. The entire BookTube Chicks here has birthdays in September. So we're all excited about celebrating. And so thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Dawn, for being here as always. And thank you, ladies, again, for being here. But we will see you everybody back in September. Bye, guys.